this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to give myself permission to dream and think big and live in the future because this is what I want to do. This path feels aligned to me. And then I made everything worse for myself.
Like, it feels like somebody's got like a hold on my heart right now.
This week was not about productivity. It was literally about me spiraling so hard into the future that I stopped living in the present. So let's talk about what happens when a daydream turns into a breakdown. Hello, if you're new here, my name is Samantha, and I have been on a journey to becoming self-employed whilst trying to balance a sensitive nervous system, trying to have a soft glow up, and document this whole process to YouTube. So this isn't a productivity channel or a perfect what it looks like to change your life, because this journey so far has been very, very messy, but I'm trying to document this whole journey so that you can get a real-time look at what it actually takes to change your life mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, all whilst trying to work a casual job in hospitality. So last week, we were definitely working with the theory that maybe it was exercise that had been causing my recent sleep issues. And after the last 2 weeks, we're definitely working with a new theory. So what actually happened this week? From the last episode, I was really, really struggling with editing my week 6 video. I filmed an hour and a half of content, and it was a lot for just 1 week. So it meant that we had to go into bi-weekly videos. So week 7 and week 8. And while I was trying to edit my week 6 video in week 8, I kind of procrastinated on it because it felt so overwhelming and big. I still worked on it, but essentially I was procrastinating by doing other things I thought were productive. So I was doing all of this planning and brainstorming and writing down my scripts and learning how to get better on YouTube. And that still kind of continued on into next week. And by Wednesday, I was feeling quite guilty because I haven't actually made any real progress towards my automation goals to become self-employed and actually editing videos, because only so much planning can be done before you actually have to get back into the things that are actually going to progress you. So I thought I really need to make this up. So on Thursday, I'm going to have a super duper productive day because I really need to actually get this done. I have made an error. It is Wednesday. I have not accomplished much. I still haven't finished editing that week 6 video. I've just been like scripting all these other things that I eventually want to make content about. And I haven't been doing the thing that I actually need to do because it's such a big task. It's overwhelming. But like that week 6 video, like it's Wednesday and I only have 2 days to finish it. And I also need to like do all these other things. I haven't done any work on my inbox flow email management system. I've just been having fun doing all of these other things, and I'm like, I can make it up tomorrow. I can catch up. So the only work that I have been doing lately has been scripting other content that I'm excited to make. And not gonna lie, I am so excited to do all of this. It's just like, how did I suddenly get to Wednesday? Like, where is all that time gone? So I really need to get a lot of work done Thursday, Friday, so that I can feel accomplished this week. And then what happened? I kind of crashed again. So on Wednesday night, I actually had a very terrible sleep. Maybe very terrible is an over-exaggeration, but I didn't sleep very well or very long.
You probably can't see me too well, but it is, what is it, 6:30? But I've been awake since 5:50, and I can just feel my chest growing in heat a little bit more. And I had like an anxious dream, though I don't remember what it was about. Now I'm sad. This was a very light work week. The only thing that could have set me off is the fact that I went to the gym twice, which I did last week, but I also did an ego lift, and I also was trying to be very mindful and listen to my body. And the only other thing that I can think of that set me off is the fact that I had a coffee while I was out with my friend yesterday. Huh? What? And I was saying to her about all of these problems that I've been having with my sleep and my anxiety and everything. and it's happening again, and I just hope that it doesn't last for very long and it's just like a once off.
And I was thinking, how am I supposed to be productive if I'm sleep deprived? So I was feeling very, very grumpy about the whole thing. So what did I do? I decided to buy a weighted blanket. I was feeling like, okay, clearly I need to take my nervous system habits really, really seriously again and do everything all the time. And so something that ChatGPT had been recommending to me quite often to help with my very sensitive nervous system is to buy a weighted blanket. It still hasn't arrived yet, but I'm very much looking forward to it. And apparently it will help. But again, all of that research into looking into a weighted blanket and which one I wanted was, again, me procrastinating. And even after that, I still couldn't let it go. I was like a dog with a bone. And so it was kind of hard to get me to actually stop because I was just in this creative frenzy, this spiral, and I was just getting so organized because it wasn't just YouTube. I was also getting really, really clear on my goals towards calisthenics, my lean bulk and my cut afterwards, and then the maintenance phase after that. And I was getting really clear on what I needed to do each week, every single day to hit all of my goals. Again, I'm getting really clear on everything, but it's Thursday and I still haven't edited the video. I still haven't done my automation work, and it clearly was starting to get to me a little bit because my sleep issues still got worse.
I don't really remember what I dreamed about, but I do remember being on the back of a dragon, a very tiny dragon. I feel like I remember having about 4 anxious dreams and 1 good dream. And sometimes your subconscious tells you stuff. Just kind of like, I dreamt that a coworker was telling everybody about my YouTube channel and I wasn't ready to tell them, and I thought I could trust them. This isn't about the coworker I told. This is a different coworker. You're still fine if you're watching this.
It might sound obvious where I'm going with this, but allow me to carry on. So even by Sunday, the entirety of week 9 was basically me just spiraling and living in the future. Because when I'm doing all of this planning and organizing, and it's just like, oh, by this week, I will have accomplished this. By this month, I will have accomplished this. By the end of the year, I will have accomplished this. And it was getting really, really exciting for me. And it took me ages to realize that, oh, I actually love doing this. Clearly, because I've spent the entire week and before then just doing this, like researching, getting my scripts organized and coming up with future content. And it's just so, YouTube, I've just realized, is so much fun to me that I finally realized and accepted I actually want to take this seriously. I don't want this to just be something that I use to document my journey to becoming self-employed. I want this to be a part of the process. I want this to help me become self-employed so that I can become really self-employed and just do it because I'm having fun doing it. I want to take this seriously. And so Sunday, I got really, really excited. So after I came home from my friend's birthday party today, I set up my desk and I should have been doing some video editing, but instead I was doing content planning and organizing and creation. I was getting very, very clear about what I'm going to be posting for the next 8 weeks. And I'm very excited about it. I can't make it just yet, but I feel like I'm coming to a new era that I want to start about taking this more seriously, because I've come to realize how much I really enjoy creating content on YouTube, and I don't want this to be at the bottom of the totem pole anymore. I really would like to start making some income from YouTube, which means that I'm giving myself permission to take it more seriously, and it's very exciting for me. I still want to do my business, but I'm going to have to figure out how to balance it equally. But it is going to be a little bit of a learning journey to actually make that happen. But anyways, yes, just very, very excited about all the content that I have, swimming around my brain, because I'm planning on making a video, what I've learned over the last 12 weeks of failing a lot. So that is kind of like my practice era, my beginner YouTube era. And now I'm stepping into an era where I am trying to take it like
really seriously.
This is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to give myself permission to dream and think big and live in the future because this is what I want to do. This path feels aligned to me. And then I made everything worse for myself. So we are getting into week 10 now, and I am starting to have anxious dreams. Now these are happening more often.
I dreamt that I was in the Simpsons universe and accidentally killed somebody and I had to hide the body.
And I am essentially going to bed with a racing heart. I'm waking up in the middle of the night with a racing heart after an anxious dream. And then I would be waking up in the morning again with a racing heart. And this continued on all week. And I was getting really frustrated by it because I was confused. Why am I feeling so anxious? If this path truly feels aligned to me, and I'm not afraid to do it, and I really want to do this, why am I so stressed and anxious by this? It was really frustrating. So, about halfway through the week, I started documenting, I started rambling on camera. Why am I feeling so anxious? And it was kind of like journaling, out loud, because I didn't know the answer yet at the time. But as I was starting to get through that that vlog, I came to a realization about essentially why this is making me feel so anxious.
I feel like it's not the fear of failure that's making me so stressed right now. I feel like it's like, even if these videos don't blow up like I hoped, I'm not afraid of like failing. I'm more so just feeling like this could happen now. This could happen now. It could happen like so soon. It could happen for me in like the next like couple of months. It's not like I'm going to fail if these videos don't pop off like I hope it will. It's more so like, oh, it was so close. I was so hopeful that that would do well. And now my vision's kind of been like pushed back a little bit. I know that I keep picking myself back up every single time I fall back down. And sometimes things take a very, very long time for me. I've been on this self-improvement journey for the last 7 years, and I wish it would have only taken me like a year or like 2 or 3 or even 4, but it has taken me 7 years. And I would trade it in if it could have happened for me quicker, but I still got there. I've already achieved a lot of things that I never thought would happen. And it did take a really long time, but I never gave up because I'd rather keep going. And with this, gaining success from my entrepreneurship goals in YouTube and my business and all of these other things that I want to do, like, I feel so hopeful that it could happen so quickly and so soon. And that's what's making me anxious. But it's okay if it doesn't happen soon, because I don't give up and I keep going, and no matter how long it really takes, because eventually I do get there in the end. It would just be nice if this happened quickly for me for a change. I'm grateful for everything that I've achieved, and it's just when something is so close, it just like, it fills you with so much excitement, like, oh my god, it's finally almost finished, and finally it's almost coming together. It's almost like I almost have it all. So that's why I've been kind of like, this is why I've made myself so anxious, because I do want it to do well. This might sound ridiculous, but I think I've kind of had a breakthrough moment. This might sound silly, but I really believe that my success it's just on the other side of the door, and I am really hopeful that I can, unlock it and be successful. But if it doesn't unlock and I do have to keep going the long way, then that's okay too. It's just, it feels so close, and it'll be just an accumulation of everything that I have worked so hard for in the last 7 years. Because when you have been at rock bottom and when you've had nothing, you feel like that could never be me. I could never Like, your self-worth is just at an all-time low, and you're just in like a little pit of despair that you'll never be the person that you long to be. And now I am so close to becoming the person I longed to be all those years ago. And so that's why I've made myself so emotional, because it is so close. I'm getting my skin treatments. Like, I could be very successful with content creation and starting a business and having like this glow up by the end of the year. So this all might be a little bit too vulnerable for YouTube. We shall see how I feel about sharing this moment.
Essentially, I was living a lot in the future instead of living in the present. And I realized that if I feel so delusional that I'm going to be successful and it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, then all of my dreams are going to be coming to fruition soon. I'm so happy with how far I have come, but there is more that I know I can be. And it's not coming from a place of I am not enough. It is I am about to become the woman I never thought that I could be. And I thought that that was like, I proved something to my younger self. It was something very healing. If you've dealt with a lot of like low self esteem and if you have been at rock bottom, it felt like all of my dreams are about to come true. And I have spent a very, very long time doing this, about 5 years of actual work. And it would just be nice to have a quick win because it has taken me a long time to get to this point. It would have been nice if it could have happened, in only 2 years. But it has taken, about 5.5 years. And I'm about, if YouTube and my self employment journey is to become successful this year, then I will have achieved everything that I hope to. If this works out like I hope it will, after all of my planning and, visualizing for success, if this happens according to the timeline that I am hoping it will, then this could happen so soon for me. But if it doesn't, it's going to take a lot longer. And so essentially, I'm feeling like this could happen so soon. Please let it happen. So that was the first reason how I realized that daydreaming was actually kind of like a negative because I didn't have to go down that far into the future. It was good for me to plan and it was actually very helpful, but all of that put a lot of pressure on myself to be successful and do everything perfectly. So I just had to remember and remind myself that everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to happen when it is meant to happen, and that I just need to keep going and do the work. It'll all work out. The other thing, after going through all of that and having that realization, it made me have a breakdown. And it felt really, really good to release that afterwards. I didn't realize, like, after talking for so long and coming to like a summit, like, oh, this is why I'm so stressed. And I was able to relieve all of that weight that had been building up in me. And I thought that I was fine. And then I wasn't because I had maybe an okay night. I was able to actually finish and actually get back into editing that week 6 video and actually able to get it done. And I felt like, oh, we figured out the answer. We can still get back into doing this. And then the next day, my chest is still tight. And it's tight for the next like 48 to like 72 hours. It is just not going away. And I'm still feeling frustrated. And before I go into the gym, I look up anxiety medication because it's something that I have been considering for like a long time, but I just don't know whether it's going to be the best option for me. And I've been trying to just manage everything naturally. And just listening to people talk about how much it has helped them made me have another breakdown.
I look insane. But I was just about to get out of the car to go to the gym. And I was thinking about like, oh my God, how am I still so anxious? It's like I woke up twice in the middle of the night, once again. And one of them I dreamt that a giant mythical bull was chasing me down and I was trying so hard to fly away. But like, it feels like somebody's got like a hold on my heart right now. And I'm asking myself, like, why do I feel this way? Let's try and do like some mantras. Like, let's think of like ways to like reframe this. And then it would help me. Because I just like, you're saying something, but it's not really helping me. It's not helping me let go of the feeling unless I resonate with what I'm saying very, very deeply. And sometimes even when I pause to do breath work, the feeling doesn't entirely go away. And so I had like a little lookie on TikTok about like anxiety medication. And I also asked ChatGPT about like, why do I feel this way? I'm trying so hard. And it says because I care very deeply about what I'm trying to do. It just I feel like I have so many physical symptoms that I want this feeling to go away.
I was just so tired of feeling this way, of having all of these like physical symptoms of not being able to sleep, like having a racing heart and just feeling like this pressure on my chest all the time. And so I had another breakdown and that made me feel good again. And I went in the gym and I came back home and I wondered, like, why does having a breakdown help me? Like, I don't want to feel like I have to cry every single time to release this weight on my chest. So I looked up a couple of the reasons why crying and having a breakdown helps me feel better. Essentially, it is something about the parasympathetic system. So essentially, my weighted blanket should help with this. Another thing that will help is dancing and singing, apparently. And stream of consciousness journaling. I tried that out, feeling a little bit skeptical because I already journal. But I was so surprised by how much this worked for me. Essentially, what you do is you just journal everything that comes to your mind, like one after the other, and you're just writing in like a frenzy, whatever comes to the top of your head. And it's not always about work. Sometimes it's just like, oh, I'm cold at this minute. Like, oh, this happened today, by the way. Oh, and then that happened today, by the way. By the end of it, you set a timer for like 10, 15 minutes. I have, journaled longer. But at the end of it, I'm like, oh, that really helped. I'm really surprised that helped me.
I was lying in bed hoping to get an early night, and it felt again like somebody's got the grippers around my heart. And I was just like, I cannot have a good night's sleep under these conditions until I let go of my anxious feelings. So I thought, like, let's get up, let's set a timer for 15 minutes. We're going to start some journaling. So, I wrote in my journal for like 15 minutes, just whatever came into my head, I put onto paper. But not going to lie, it actually kind of distracted me. I guess because I was like writing so fast and I was just thinking about whatever popped into my mind, which weren't always anxious. It's just usually what happened today or just something interesting, kind of like talking to a friend. She's like, oh, by the way, this happened. And then I felt distracted and I kind of feel like the feeling's gone away, which is nice. I would be interested in seeing if this helps me long term. Wow, it worked. I am pleasantly surprised how well that worked. So what that has taught me, so what's happened is I have cried twice this week in like 2 days, and I have felt better after I've cried and released all of those feelings. And I was asking ChatGPT, like, why did that help me? Why did that help me? So it said all of these other things, like science-backed reasons why crying helps, but I don't want to be crying all the time just to feel better. So I asked, what's the science behind it, and are there other things that I can do that aren't crying? And so essentially what I'm trying to do is release the loop cycle. And there are a couple of ways to do that, such as voice notes to yourself, scribble pages, not like writing them down, but just like scribbling like nonsense, and emotionally led playlist, which essentially means dancing. So just putting on some music that I like and either singing to it or dancing to it or both. And of course the stream of consciousness journaling. It just felt like my mind was emptied after that, and just like, oh, that worked. Finally, something actually worked.
And that was one of the things that ChatGPT suggested could help me with my, actual relieving the actual pressure from my chest and helping the parasympathetic nervous system. I could all be saying this wrong, by the way. And eventually, the next time I do feel like this weight on my chest is too much, I'm going to give dancing a go. I'm going to give the singing a go because I feel like it'll get me out of my head and into like a different like daydream or trance instead of just tunneling down, spiraling down. I'm spiraling in a new direction because I'm thinking about other things. So essentially, I have had a couple of breakdowns because I didn't take enough action. I did the thing that I knew I usually do. This isn't the first time I've wanted to do YouTube. I think this is actually maybe like the third or fourth time. And every single time I have tried to start YouTube before, I have overplanned it to death. I have overdone it on research. And then months go by and I still haven't started it. And then by the time I do say to myself, like, look, this has been going on too long. You really just need to start sitting down and making a video. I sit there and do it, and it doesn't live up to the expectation I have in my head. It's bad. It's not good. And so I'm just like, this is uncomfortable. I'm not going to do this anymore. I don't like this isn't a good idea because I had built it up so much in my head that it just didn't match what I thought it needed to be. And so when I initially started documenting this journey to YouTube, you can look back on my very first videos and you can see just how little thought I put into them, truly. And in some ways, it has bitten me in the butt, my lack of planning. But overall, it has been good for me because in a matter of 10 weeks, I have made so much more progress than I would have if I had just been over planning it. So now that I have gotten back into an over planning state, I have put myself back into that position where it feels overwhelming. It's just like everything has to be amazing now. Everything needs to work out. And I'm also, because I have like all of this evidence of just, I have made so much progress already, just how much progress can I make in the future if I keep going and trying to get better every time? And so I'm putting this pressure and expectations on myself. And it caused me to kind of spiral a little bit and have like a crash out because I'm thinking about my life in the future and how it's so close, but I'm not doing the work in the moment. I spent way too much time planning and daydreaming instead of actually doing. So, unfortunately, I'm human and I'm probably going to do this again, but at least I know better now. And I know that I really just need to stop. I can plan, I can do things, but I really just need to do this in moderation because I do have fun outlining scripts and coming up with content ideas. And it is fun for me at work to visualize my life in 6 months. But it gets to a point where it is no longer inspiring. It fills you with like overwhelming panic. Like, I need to do this. It needs to happen. So that is essentially what I have learned that week. It was very much an emotional week. We did finally finish editing that week 6 video, and it took me ages. It took me 20 hours, like I said in the other video. As well, ambition without action is anxiety. And it was my anxiety that made me not sleep very well. So it wasn't the over exercise, although I do still think that my nervous system was still a bit delicate and just was adjusting to having exercise reintroduced. But overall, from what I've seen for the last 2.5 weeks, it has been anxiety that has been causing my sleep problems. So we are still trying to manage our anxiety and find healthy coping mechanisms, like what I said earlier about like the dancing and the stream of consciousness journaling. And hopefully I will come back in the next video with a positive update. And we did do the things and it is helping and it is working. Something else that I wanted to introduce to my videos is small wins. Things that I've been trying to do like in the background to improve and hit my goals. And one of those things, if I want to take YouTube seriously, is I need to improve my setup. So I have bought a ring light. I have bought a microphone and I have changed my filming setup. So I'm very excited about, those new features because I feel like it looks just so nice. So in conclusion, I'm going to be trying out some new tools. I'm going to be trying out some new routines that I hope will actually help me. And now that I know that procrastination, like me over planning, which I already knew this, me over planning is what leads to anxiety, because if there is no action, then I'm going to get anxious because I'm not making any progress and it just stays a dream if I'm not actually making steps towards it. So I feel like I've been somewhat repetitive, but I guess on a final note is I am switching up my YouTube visual style, and I am starting to get a little bit more comfortable with talking to a camera, like just and talking off the cuff without having to rely on a script too much. I still have dot points, but it's significantly less red than it was last week. Oh, yesterday, because I filmed these back to back. But I just have like a little like ice pack next to me. And I've also found that pausing to take a couple of deep breaths, put this on my face during like a little vlog has also been helpful. So I am trying to get better at YouTube. I am trying to get better at managing my anxiety and my nervous system, and trying to have like this little soft glow up and hit everything that I want to achieve, but still doing it in a healthy way. Again, not going to be perfect this week, this last 2 weeks. Definitely wasn't perfect, but everything that happens to me is a lesson for me to use to get better every single time. So if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for bearing with me. I think I rattled on a little bit, and I hope that this made you feel a little bit less alone if you are also on a journey to recreate your life as well. I would love to have you follow the journey, and I will talk to you guys all in the next one. Bye bye.